All right, we're rolling. Welcome, everybody. It is July 13th. This is our 23rd week straight meeting to discuss the Mandel upgrade. Quick recap: last week when we met, RC2 was on the brink of being released. Still required some testing. We were getting close to releasing CDT and contracts. That was planned for Thursday. ENF was looking for feedback on PG. We're preparing a survey for that. We've been making progress on the D.U.N.E 1.0 release, including all the tester and debugging stuff that was expected on Friday. We're getting prepared for a go no-go decision today on Jungle 4. So Stephen, are you able to share any news on the Mandel software development progress, where we're at with RC2?
Yeah, absolutely. So presently, RC2, of course, is available for update for whoever is seeking to do such a thing. One thing that we had discussed last week was that we had an inactive feature related to the crypto primitives and host functions. Since that time, we've given the green light for anyone to start testing that feature actively if they wish. There's an understanding from our end that that may not be the highest priority for everybody right now, but just wanted to share with this group that we have the green light there. On Thursday, we did successfully release both contracts and CDT. Those release notes are available in their respective repos. And we do still require a Mandel RC3 release coming up. Right now, we're working through about 4 outstanding issues. Most of them aren't too new, but one thing that's kind of emerged, well, there's 2 things that have emerged. We've had just a couple of issues in some of the integration tests that have been occurring, but then also I know there's just been some issues with DeepMind. We've been collaborating with Matthew Darwin, as well as I want to say a guy named Fred, who's been doing some testing for that team. We've got one of our OCI tech leads helping support that effort. I think that they had pushed a solution to the first bug, but I think that it's likely that there's going to be just a couple of them along the way. Right now, we're optimistically targeting likely RC3 happening next week. I'll be able to provide an update, of course, in this next meeting that we have. That's kind of the gist of it outside of, I guess it may or may not have been discussed last week, but D.U.N.E, we had originally thought that we may be releasing D.U.N.E last Friday. It's looking more like this Friday, just as we're working out a few issues there. Covered a lot of stuff all at once, though. So any questions about any of those updates?
Did I capture the high level here right? Green light from the ENF to activate and test crypto primitives. The CDDs and contracts were released with release notes on Thursday. Is that right?
That's correct.
And RC3 will be required. We're targeting release next week.
Yep, that's the hope. And we'll, of course, have an update as we move along. Again, right now it's about 4 issues that we're cranking through. Some of them we've just not gotten our hands wrapped around too much yet to feel totally confident that next week's the date, but that's what we're shooting for right now. And then D.U.N.E, we're shooting for releasing this Friday.
Okay. D.U.N.E will be this Friday. Okay. Yeah, any questions from anyone?
Yeah. Regarding DeepMind and Dfuse, where are these discussions happening with Matthew? Because we are also working on a DeepMind consumer DeepMind based application, and currently we are still working with 305 RC1. But if there are breaking changes and stuff like that, it would be good if I know about them.
Yeah, so it was kind of something that was hot off the press in our internal discussion yesterday around release. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin just shared the first bug that was surfaced. I think that we've probably just identified an opportunity of how better we can collaborate in tracking any of these issues that emerge. So I think always we should be seeking to create issues in the respective repo that it's applicable for. And then in terms of the escalation pathway in which we actually surface it to the internal ENF team, I think is probably still to be determined. But I think, making mention of it in Mandel Dev, if you're a part of that by chance, or even DMing someone like me directly, or mentioning any of the core team developers so that they can surface it to us as I'm continuing to learn the specific subject matter that we're working through here, are all places where I think we can experiment until we find something that sticks. I, of course, am acknowledging in that statement that we don't have a cohesive plan yet for tracking these things, that we don't specifically oversee and test to its full extent, since you're kind of ingesting those changes and having to work through them. But happy to continue that discussion outside of this call if you've got any leading thoughts there. Really just, I always want to set up process where we can make it easy for people to just plug in and surface the issue and feel confident that it will get addressed.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an issue that Fred is testing heavily right now. Fred's on our team. So in preparation for the activation, testing, making sure Dfuse is working. This was a bug that Fred had discovered and reported directly to the ENF. So yeah, thank you, Kevin, for sharing the GitHub issue here. I see there's a second one here you shared.
I think it would be easier to follow DeepMind Dfuse related things if we had a DeepMind label. Just, spontaneous side note.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thought. Let me bring that back to the team and just see where the appetite is there. I think typically for us, we want to constrain as many fields or attributes that we're assigning in GitHub as possible, just so that it doesn't turn into too much manual work. But we've already got a pattern here of a couple of DeepMind issues, so I see the value in what you're asking for.
So is this also a DeepMind issue, or is this just another issue related to RC3?
This is the fix. This is the pull request.
Okay, great.
In conversations yesterday, just to clarify, when discussing with Matthew, Darwin, and a few other people on the call, there was a suspicion that this may just be the first bug, and there may be a couple more that emerge from it. So the goal is just to resolve this so that it was easier to test and break through to any other additional changes that may need to be made. I don't know that we've confirmed any additional issues at this time, though.
Great.
Okay.
But we are eager to hear those so that we can get them fixed.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Okay. Anything else on the topic of RC3?
I think we're good.
Beautiful. Thank you for the update, Stephen. I will mention this in our platform support notes here so we don't lose track. And I believe I'm not, if Randall, if you're able to speak, I know you've got a survey prepared. I'm not sure if it's been sent yet for the feedback on PhilPG. Are you able to share any updates on that?
Yes, we were able to send it out. We have only one feedback that came in. A developer was saying that they are using Hyperion History API because PhilPG, they can't manage to filter and retrieve data that they want to show to their customers in a smart way. Like they feel like the solution is mostly them uploading all the history and then filtering instead. So they have been using Hyperion, and they are hoping that maybe a lot of people can run nodes for Hyperion and other history nodes so that we can have like a stable history on EOS. That's what they said. But that was it. That was the only feedback that we've received so far. It seemed like people are not using it based on what we are gathering.
Great. So that survey so far, just one response. It was only sent a couple of days ago or something, last week?
Yeah. Last week. We sent it, I think, on last week, Tuesday.
Okay. What happened to my notes?
And just one quick question from me on that. And just with the design of the survey, since I've not seen it, is there any opportunity for respondents to just be like, nope, I don't use PhilPG, end of story. I don't want to answer any more questions, just to remove any friction for getting those results, but also maybe validating the hypothesis that PhilPG is not in widespread uses at the moment?
We were trying to do that, but I think I discussed with Daniel, and Daniel wanted us to make it in a way that, okay, we are trying to find out if people are using it in their projects. But that's something that we can add to. We can add to it.
It's if I correct me if I'm wrong, it's like basically it's one question, basically around are you using PhilPG or do you plan to use PhilPG in any of your projects? And that's basically it.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you for the clarification.
You guys still hear me? All right. I think I'm probably talking through my monitor now, but that's okay. I can't hear you guys though, but maybe that's just because no one's talking.
This is me talking.
All right. I can hear you. So I'm not sure what happened. Did I forget to post my comment on this issue with the notes? That's okay. I'll go fill it up. I'll go review the recording later and update this issue with the notes that have disappeared. And I will also add that update. So far, not much feedback from the survey for PhilPG. We'll continue to monitor if any other feedback comes in, but the feedback that has come in, so far, no one's going to miss it if we stop supporting it, it sounds like.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Beauty. Let's move on then to, we talked about D.U.N.E already, testing on.
I want to talk about D.U.N.E. We have 2 feedbacks that came, I think, last week. A gentleman set up D.U.N.E on his Mac M1, and installation worked, but he's having problems or trouble starting the node. So he has opened a GitHub issue. I can post it. GitHub issue with the ENF. So I can post the link on maybe Mandel group chat, maybe.
Sure, yeah, either in there or in the Zoom chat here, and I'll add it to the ticket, or I'll add it to this GitHub issue here.
Perfect. And the second feedback, a developer wants to know if we are going to have like remote containers. The developer stated that it would be great if there is support for remote containers, because the faculty team has support for remote containers, and James Mark actually had a video on YouTube regarding something similar. So I also have like the YouTube link that they sent us. So maybe that's something that we can also look into.
Absolutely. Yeah. Also, if you want to connect our team with that respondent, just so we can understand why they would want those remote containers, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. So Randy, you'll share the link to that issue in the YouTube after this call?
Yes.
Isn't remote containers just a functionality of Visual Studio Code?
So when you have Visual Studio Code, you can actually write smart contracts in a way when you have the Docker remote container syncs to it. And I think that's how Fractally builds the applications. They use that tool. So I'm guessing that's what the developer is asking for, maybe.
Looks like this is the issue. Is that right, Randall?
Say it again.
Looks like I don't know if you can see my screen right now. Kevin shared what looks like the GitHub issue you're referring to.
Yes, that's the issue. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And there's a separate feed from someone else, or is that the same respondent who shared the YouTube video about?
That was a separate
okay.
person who give us that feedback. I'm actually going to put paste it on the Zoom call right now.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add on platform support? Great. I'll come back to update this these notes when we have the other feedback. All right, let's move on to Jungle. So the question is, are we ready to give a go to activate features? I guess, which features would we be activating, and what needs to happen in order to make that happen? So I understand from ENF's perspective, the crypto primitives is ready to activate. Is that right, Stephen? Would there be any other features besides that?
That's the only one that I'm aware of at this time that we had advised not to activate, that we have now approved for activating.
Okay, so everything is from ENF's perspective good to go for activation. One of the questions around activation is, do we have a viable history solution once we activate? We will lose Dfuse on Jungle based on our testing. Dfuse is going to stop working. Do we have anyone who can speak to the status of Hyperion? I don't see Michael on the line. I think I saw some notes from him that he's testing it. It seems to be working. Is there anyone else who can speak to? Go ahead.
I would assume that it just continues working while just throwing one or two exceptions that these features are not known.
Right.
And then it will try to deserialize any actions, transactions, deltas that it receives through chip, as always. But as there's no change, I would expect it to just work.
I'm sure Michael said that he tested it and it actually carried on ingesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's tested it with features activated. Probably not. But
yeah,
it works. It works without the features activated.
Yeah, but except the feature activation, notification, transaction, whatever, there is no difference in what chip returns. So everything else should still work.
Okay. Assuming a worst case scenario and it doesn't work, is there anyone on the call who has any? Can we live in a world with Jungle not having block explorers for now? And what's the worst case scenario? I guess we could roll back, start using Jungle 3, relaunch Jungle 4. What would happen in that case?
I reckon that if we had to ping Igor, he would put some more focus on it with the Rio team to just try and figure out exactly why it wasn't working on the Hyperion side of things. I mean, I'm speaking out of turn. It's for him to comment on. But obviously, they want to keep Hyperion going with Mandel, or going forward with the new branch of code. So it'll actually be good. It'll be a good thing if we can see what's happening rather than a couple of people testing it type thing, rather actually just get it going, I reckon.
Yeah, it adds a little, A, identifies if there is a problem, B, puts a little pressure on getting the attention to getting it fixed.
Yeah. And we're talking Jungle 4, right?
That's right.
I don't know what the uptake was of Jungle 4 to date compared to what Jungle 3 was in the past, right? So, I don't think there's any mission critical stuff running in the test net on Jungle 4. But then again, that's just it's just me thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think there's anything. I know they're testing EVM on Jungle 4. That's one of the reasons we're looking to get crypto primitives activated sooner rather than later so we can start benchmarking. Let's see where we're at with Jungle 4 in terms of, so it looks like we have lots of folks upgraded all the way up to RC2. That's good. Aloha's still in RC1. So what needs to be true to activate? We need 21 upgraded to RC2, right? The RC1 is not good enough. So we're not there yet.
Well, then of course that's also dependent on your BP JSON. So
that's right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the actual upgrade list looks like.
Is there anyone on the call who is upgraded but not on this list?
One of the most important would be Crypto Lions.
Yeah.
Even in the last MSIG, I think they had like 10 or so of their producers in there.
Okay, so we need. I'm not confident to say that we have 21 upgraded at this time. I don't think we do.
Yeah.
So that but we have RC2 now. We have go ahead from ENF that everything should be working. So we should be making a big effort to get 21 BPs upgraded. So we can make a push in the Jungle channel for the next coming days, make sure people are upgraded, make sure if their BP JSON is not updated, at least they give us confirmation verbally that they're updated.
I think what I'm saying is that if you had to look at the top 21, most of them are Crypto Lions.
Right. So if we just get Crypto Lions, that probably pushes us over the edge.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone from Crypto Lions on the call? Okay.
Yeah, that's the view. Yeah, so they're not actually here.
Yeah. But we can get the word out to them and hopefully relatively quickly get the Crypto Line nodes upgraded to Mandel RC2. And that should get us to 21. Okay.
I was just going to ask, is there an action item there that someone on the call should carry to completion? I mean, it sounds like maybe you reach out to Sudeep or someone else from the team. I don't presently work with them very closely, but I've had some interactions in the past. But
yeah, so I can reach out in the Jungle channel to Crypto Lions.
Excellent, thanks. Yeah, if we got them on board, and so you might even find that all of those producers are one node, they can just get us moving forward.
Right. Okay. What else needs to happen before we hit? So if I'm thinking back to 1.8 upgrade, if I recall correctly, we had to set a time. I don't know if it was in the MSIG or was it in the configuration on the BP.
There was configuration. Yeah, there was a separate JSON files to configure. I don't know, Kevin, maybe you can just fill us in what the latest process is.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
When you want to upgrade or enable the features, at least, what is the process? Like technical process? Do you have to like change some config and restart the node, or is
so
it
for 1.8, for example, we had to agree to a time and configure. Everyone had to set the same time.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that for the Mandel feature activations?
That's a good question. I don't even remember. It's been so long. I'd have to get back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So can I add that as an action? Kevin will look into activation procedure.
Thanks, Kevin. You just volunteered there. I love that.
Sure.
I think before there was like a safeguard. There was a safeguard in like a JSON configuration file that was separate, and it said that you can't actually execute the enablement of these features until this date.
Right.
I think that's what it was. If I remember correctly.
In test, it's just it's just a curl command to do it. But yeah, there's guards and turns. I know there is like you said, a JSON configuration as well.
Yeah,
that's involved in it. But yeah, the exact details I'd have to check on again. I know in what will be in 3.2, we've actually added support to CLIOS, or maybe that's still in PR, but we're adding the ability we can do it with CLIOS instead of a curl command. But anyway, yeah, we'll definitely get those directions as part of something. Yeah, they should have been in a release notes probably to make that obvious.
And they might be there. Just none of us have looked at that.
No, I don't think
read
so.
it.
But
okay.
Yeah, we should get that somewhere where it's clear.
Okay, so this activation procedure will also be added to the release notes. Is that right?
I'm not necessarily saying that, but we'll definitely get them somewhere and let you guys know. But yeah, that seems like we definitely need to get that documented somewhere.
He cannot confirm or deny that they'll be in the release notes.
It's not my call, so I mean.
Cool. And then I guess do we need to agree on a time? I guess that if there is indeed a configuration, a time required to configure that everyone aligns on, do we want to talk about what that time would be? Or is it maybe it's not even necessary? Maybe this procedure has changed to, it's just as simple as activating the MSIG and that's it. Is that possible? The time is when the execution of the MSIG occurs.
To be decided, I guess.
Okay. So I guess pending the upgrade of CryptoLions nodes to Mandel RC2 and clarity on the activation procedure.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any red flags or I guess objections to activating features on Jungle 4 once we have that?
No, I'm good.
And again, assuming there's nothing that comes out of the activation procedure, it's just a matter, I guess, of posting an MSIG on Jungle 4. Do we have a volunteer who wants to create that MSIG?
I would suggest we might get the CryptoLions guys to look at that.
Okay.
Maybe just put that as part of your request to them.
Yeah.
Typically before anything happens on Jungle, Bowden has to look at it and like yay or nay is it.
Okay, I will discuss that with Crypto Alliance Bodum. Okay, so it looks like we're at the activation point, pretty close. Couple last boxes to tick, but the software is ready from our perspective, and just a matter of getting the BPs on Jungle 4 set and Crypto Alliance thumbs up to post that MSIG. Anything else that we should be considering before going ahead with the activation on Jungle 4? Okay. So we'll, I don't know if I'll say it's a go for activation. We still have, but I think it's a go to proceed preparation for activation.
Yeah.
Is there anybody throughout the next week that will just passively be able to discover and verify whether a state history solution is in a good enough place to move forward?
Well, I think Michael said it was at least running, and the database has been built, so it appears to be working. And I think he actually ingested into a Hyperion from then, so at least we know that it can build the database and it can be queried. We know that. You know, I suppose as everybody starts to really use it rather than just test it, we'll figure that out.
Agreed. Yeah, I just didn't know if we wanted to say, hey, this person's going to give us an eloquent response next week about the status. But no worries.
We can say that. Usually he's on this call. I don't know why he's not here this evening. But
yeah, normally we
maybe he will.
Ask him. So maybe I'll make that as another action item for myself. Talk to Michael about. So we'd like to get an update from Michael on the next call about the state of Hyperion with the features activated. Okay. Anything else? So I'll catch up with Michael and the Crypto Alliance team offline. Kevin, if you do dig anything up on the activation procedure, maybe you can share it in the Telegram channel. We'll get it added here. In the meantime, we'll start kind of tracking our progress towards 21 BPs on Jungle 4. I'll maybe start another GitHub issue for that to, we can keep track of where we're at in terms of top 21 activated, good to go, and share the MSIG when it's ready. Thank you, Randall. I see you've shared your feedback for. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But I'll add it to our D.U.N.E platform support. Here we go. Okay. Anything else on testing? Okay. The MSIG has passed on Kylin and been activated. So now EOS Nation and EOS USA basically have the authority to get Kylin in an upgradable state. I think there's still some progress to be made before we're ready to even update Mandel. So don't have much to share besides the fact that we're going to be able now to update Kylin more rapidly. and that's in progress right now. So hopefully we'll have some more news to share next week on the state of Mandel on Kylin. Are there any other items anyone wanted to discuss today? Okay, so we'll see you all in the chat. Look forward for MSIG on Jungle. And yeah, good luck with testing, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.